Hello and welcome to our post-match show after a fantastic 3-2 win over Middlesbrough. To talk us through the game, I'm delighted to be joined by Academy coach and former Huddersfield Town midfielder Jon Worthington and Huddersfield Town fan and broadcaster Andy Lawson. How are you both? You okay?
Feeling far better than I was before the game, certainly. Good after that victory.
Absolutely. I think we all are. I mean, Worthy, it was a really, really deserved 3 points, wasn't it?
Yeah, I thought the performance was excellent throughout. Obviously, Middlesbrough got off to a very good start, a fast start. But I think once we got the equaliser, I think we grew from strength to strength and got a real handle on the game and dominated the majority of the game, to be honest.
Yeah, the second half performance in particular was really enjoyable, wasn't it, Andy? Some of the football we played was fantastic.
Yeah, and we'd had quite a nervy start to the first half, and you were kind of wondering where Middlesbrough were going to take things and where we were going to take things. And then, yeah, that second half began, and straight away you could see we got control of it. And the thing that really amused me was Neil Warnock, you could see, was absolutely fuming on the touchline through a lot of that second half, which, of course, says that for me as a Town fan, we are doing exactly what we needed to do in that half.
Yeah, you can imagine what Neil Warnock's post-match reaction is going to be like with his players in the dressing room. I mean,
will there be a YouTube video of it? That's what I want to know.
Worthy, you mentioned it there. Obviously, Middlesbrough took the lead. Coming into this game, everyone was saying how good they are defensively. They'd only conceded 6 goals in 13 Sky Bet Championship League games this season. For Town to put 3 past them is really catches the eye, doesn't it? It's fantastic.
It is, yeah, but I think that's been the general theme throughout all the games this season. I think we have looked a threat. Goals have come from all over the team, and the way we're creating openings has been excellent, and at times really good to watch. And I think, like, I'm fortunate to see what goes on in training behind the scenes, and a lot of hard work goes on from the management and his staff, working tirelessly. And when you see the patterns on the pitch, both in and out of possession, it's definitely, there's no look to about how those have come along. It's down to real hard work and real tactical knowledge, really.
You can give us a real insight into that, Worthy, can't you? In terms of what Carlos wants to do here, it goes all the way through the academy. And in terms of the attacking play, what are his aims and how did you see that being implemented today?
Yeah, I mean, obviously throughout the club, it's very aligned and obviously spearheaded by Carlos. And a lot of the attacking concepts that throughout the club that we work on, and it's playing with a real intensity. Trying to forward runs and getting in behind, winning the back of players, and lots of other concepts that come together. And I think, like I said, there's a real alignment running through the club in terms of that. And when you get results like that, and you see some of the good play, it's really pleasing.
Yeah, we'll talk about the big talking point, the winning goal from Josh Koroma. It just oozed quality, didn't it, Andy?
Oh, it did. And you could see that feeling. He was just waiting for somebody to overlap just to take it, take the defenders away from the goal area. He was just waiting for that moment. He never intended to pass it to them. He was always just looking for that right foot, curl it in, and he manages it. That is the kind of goal that we are going to be watching over and over again. I mean, that's a spectacular goal. That's up there as a potential for goal of the month, and brilliant to see. And brilliant for him as well, because he puts so much effort into all of the games. And last time I was actually on one of these reviews with you, Adam, we were talking about how he'd had a great game at Millwall in that particular instance, and he's had several more since. And now he's got a goal today, which really is to all the efforts he's putting in and everything that he's doing. He deserved that.
Yeah, you hit the nail on the head, Andy, there. I mean, after the game, Carlos said performances like he had in the second half today tells the football world what he really is. I mean, he's shining, isn't he? And you forget he's just 22 years old.
Yeah, it's incredible. I mean, we signed him from Leyton Orient. We saw a bit of an idea from him as would be like. We loan him to Rotherham, and I'll be honest with you, from a personal perspective, I didn't pay that much attention to what was going on with Rotherham. We kind of had our own things that we were last season, but it looks by all accounts that he did well, and then obviously he's come back, and we're now seeing a player who came, you could see, and we were told was one for the future, and we now realise that future is the present. It's here, and he's announcing himself as a championship, not just ready and worthy player, but actually an excelling at the championship level player.
His development's been fantastic, hasn't it, Worthy?
Yeah, and I think, to be honest, the goal today, that's no surprise to me. I think that is a real trademark of Josh's, cutting in from the left. And I think once he squares up any defender in and around the edge of the box, he's got that real ability just to be able to shift it and get shots away. And I think we've seen that. I've seen that over the period he's been in the club time and time again in training and in B team games and prior to him getting into the first team. So it's just really refreshing and nice to see him delivering it on the main stage in the championship.
Yeah, and obviously just 2 minutes before that, Borough drew the scores level. Assombalonga scoring from a penalty. Whether you'll be able to give us a good insight here in terms of character when you're on the pitch. You've put in a performance like we have, which was excellent, and that goes against you. You concede with just over 5 minutes to go. How easy is it then, as players on that pitch, to drop your heads, to go through the motions a little bit in the next few minutes? Because we absolutely didn't do that, did we?
No, and I think, like you said, I think it is easy to drop and feel disappointed. But I think that shows the spirit running through the team, and there's a real desire and a real positive mentality that we can score goals back. From when we're behind, and I showed in a real tough, in a real tough game.
Yeah, and Andy, for you to kind of hear that from Worthy about it shows the spirit in this team. From a supporter's perspective, you can see it out on the pitch, but to hear it from people in the club as well, it just enhances that, doesn't it? That everyone's in this together, everyone's pulling in the same direction that Carlos wants to take us in.
Yeah, you can really sense from all of the players that there is a real team bond together. There are players in there, some of whom are from the town, who are town fans in there. Would look like Ryan Schofield, for example, in goal, and then you go kind of all the way through the pitch. He's got Fraser Campbell as well from town, and you look around, but everybody is one big collective. But there's a belief as well. One thing that is really, for me, under Carlos Corberán has become clear and apparent is that we will score goals, and we've got an attacking line that have that ability just to create danger for the opposition. And so every opposition is panicking that we might at some point create danger, which in turn maybe eases off. I mean, maybe John can tell me, can get a go with this, is that if you've got a strike force who are going to put the ball in the back of the net, that takes the pressure off those defensive mids and the defense themselves, because they know that if we do make a mistake, we've got the weapons on the pitch who can actually go get us another goal if needs be.
Yeah, definitely, and I think in obviously last season that obviously became a bit of a burden. Wondering where, obviously there was a lot of pressure on Carl Grant at the time, but where goals are coming from, and goals are coming from all over the pitch. And I think when you've got that confidence in terms of goals can be scored from any, you're not relying on just one player or one person. I think that's a massive benefit as well. But like I say, I think the attacking play has been a joy to watch at times.
Yeah, well, 100%. And we'll talk about the second goal now. Worthy, it was a fantastic transition that summed up everything that Lewis O'Brien's about. Yeah,
definitely. He wins the second ball, wins the duel, and then drives at the heart of Middlesbrough defence. And I think he just got the timing of the pass just right. Allowed him to slip the ball through to Fraser, and and obviously get the goal. And just comes at a great time just before, and that'll have given the lads a real lift going into the dressing room at half time.
Yeah, you could see, Andy, couldn't you, the options that he had, one on each side, and it's really easy then, isn't it? It makes it easier for him to pick a pass and stick defenders when he's driving at pace, but has someone like Fraser Campbell on the overlap who we all know how good he is at finishing.
Yeah, he's brilliant at that kind of thing. Although, Adam, I've got to be totally honest with you at this point. As you say, right, Lewis O'Brien's got two options. He's got Fraser Campbell to the right. He's got Mbenza to the left. I am shouting at the telly, Mbenza. So, of course, he puts it the other way and then proves me completely wrong. I'm sure that Mbenza could also have done similar, but Fraser Campbell gets the goal. As Worthy says, and again, Worthy knows as a footballer, it's so important to go in with that goal. And yeah, just the fact that we're even in that position. Looking back at maybe previous seasons, we wouldn't have had three people running up the pitch at that point. So many options for him. So I'm delighted to see that there's that ability within this squad. And then picks the correct pass. Fraser Campbell, brilliant goal, fab.
It's a really classy finish as well, Worthy, wasn't it? Because it wasn't easy for him. Had a defender coming across, the keeper was coming out, but he kept his composure.
Yeah, and I think you just expect that from Fraser. He's experienced player, and a couple of ricochets, and it went over the line. So he'll take that one.
Yeah, absolutely. And the first goal, obviously, to fight back against Borough, Carol Eiting, and his third goal in 4 games. He's really starting to flourish in this system now.
Yeah, he is. When he came in, obviously, like a lot of Town fans, you see Ajax, but you don't necessarily know that much about him. So you look on Twitter and you see some of the Ajax fans saying what he can do, but you don't quite know how that's going to fit into the Town system. And at first, I was a bit still sort of wondering how exactly he'd pan out. This position where he runs into the edge of the box as we're attacking, like you say, Adam, he's got 3 goals kind of from those positions, and he's able to get those finishes. He doesn't seem to be put off by what's around him. He's able to find the gap and is a really useful attacking target. But also, we've got to say as well as doing that, what vision he's got. I don't quite know how on earth you can be kind of looking one way, knowing exactly what's happening behind you or whatever, to just push it on and push it straight onto Fraser Campbell, who's running one with the keeper or whatever it is. I mean, his skill levels, his talent's brilliant.
He's like you, Worthy, in your heyday.
You touched tackle, yeah. I don't think so. No, he's a real technician. I enjoy watching him. He sees a pass, but he can also deliver the pass with real detail. Chipping in with the goals, which is something that's it has really added to the midfield as well. So he's good to watch. He's good on the eye, and hopefully he can continue to do that.
And that goal came after waves and waves of attacking moves. I think one thing that needs to be pointed out with that is the role that Jonathan Hogg played. I think it was an attack that broke down just before the ball came out to Hoggy, and he then set off the next wave, didn't he, Worthy? It's a really key role, the number 6 that he's playing, and just in terms of keeping things flowing, creating moves, building from the back.
Yeah, definitely. I think Hoggy's been outstanding. I really do at times, and he's really got to grips with the position, this positional midfield position really well. And I think you notice that when you go up against, like in the second half, when Middlesbrough made the changes and went 2 up front, he dropped in as a back 3. Just gives you that extra protection at the back, but also allows you to play through the press as well. And I think he's done that really well, and he's taken on the information that he's been given from Carlos. And like I say, he's a lot of the attacks either he's starting for him or he's in the position when there's a turnover in play to break down transitions and set us off on the attack again.
And this was a really big game for him, wasn't it, Andy? Obviously, growing up in Borough, being a Borough fan, I think there's a fantastic picture that we put out on our social media when Josh scored of him just screaming into his face. He's all about passion, but even more so in games like this.
Yeah, I think with Jonathan Hogg, this is the kind of game that he lives for. You can kind of tell he's one of those players that will immediately look at the fixtures every time they come out every season, and will just point out straight away, right, I'm looking forward to that. And Borough, obviously, for him is going to be one of those games. And to have, well, like you say, to have been so passionate about what was happening on the pitch, and as Worthy says, to have been so pivotal in how we played in a lot of games recently, but in today particularly. You know that Jonathan Hogg has come off that pitch today and he is going to be buzzing. You just know that's going to be what he said. It's like, oh yeah.
Do you get that, Worthy, after playing against teams that are kind of special to you, or you've got a bit of history with them, that extra lift going into games like this?
Yeah, absolutely. Whenever I played against Leeds or Bradford, there was always that little bit more, relishing the occasion and probably, being more up for those types of games. And I'm sure that's probably the same for Hogg today. Although I think every game Hoggy goes into, he's, I'm sure he's well charged and, really, at it.
He really leads by example as well, doesn't he? He was obviously captain today.
Yes, absolutely, yeah. And like I said, I think he's been really consistent this season and been a pivotal player.
We have to talk about the goals we conceded. Worthy, in the build-up to Borough's first, what do you think we could have done a little bit better?
Yeah, I mean the balls. I think the first one went up from Ryan, and it's broken midfield, and I think possibly we probably didn't quite get the balance right in terms of as the ball has gone up there, we might not have got out quick enough to lock on to. I can't remember the exact midfield player who picked it up, but I think that'll be something that they'll look at. But again, it was a good finish. They took it really well. He took it really well, and sometimes it's difficult. They'll be disappointed to concede, but sometimes the goal's gone in, and I'm sure when they go through the game tomorrow, they'll be analysing that and seeing what possibly they could have done differently. Yeah,
and then I don't think Andy Ryan could have done too much about it, but for him, this is his second consecutive first team start. He's done well, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's done very well. I mean, he got a clean sheet against Wickham midweek. He did everything that he needed to do today. The Britta Sombalonga penalty, I don't really think anybody's going to save that, because that was really the kind of penalty that I suppose strikers kind of dream of. But again, at one point, he just slightly jumps to his left before he goes to his right. And you can just see that look on Sombalonga's face. I saw the replay. Just that slight second of doubt for Sombalonga, where obviously he still puts it in the back of the net. But no, Ryan Schofield for me has shown everything he needs to do as Huddersfield Town's keeper.
Yeah, Worthy, he's obviously someone that you'll have seen quite a lot. How impressed have you been with him in terms of his development over the years and stepping up into first team action?
Yeah, I've been really pleased. I think first and foremost, he's a really good lad, very level-headed, fantastic attitude, real humble guy, and I think what he has got, he's got real character. So whatever opportunity he gets, he'll take that opportunity. Any setbacks he takes, he's the first one to step back up again. I think when you're a goalkeeper, it's fantastic to have those attributes first and foremost, and then after that, I believe that he's got the potential to be a top keeper. I really do.
And obviously, another academy player that stepped into the first team today, Romani Edmonds-Green. Andy, we spoke a lot about academy players coming through, but when Rams stepped onto that pitch, he really didn't look out of place at all, did he?
Not at all. No, absolutely not. But he actually had big shoes to fill, particularly today, just because I'd spotted how Richard Stearman had been involved in several things before he had to go off injured, and he looked particularly like he was also up for the game today. So then when he goes down injured, and Romani Edmonds-Green comes on, he's got big shoes to fill, which he absolutely did. He's another player that we had out on loan again last season, and he's come into the first team this time around, and he looks like he fits. He looks like he gets the Carlos Corberán way of playing, and as Worthy says about Ryan Schofield, we look at, or I look at Romani Edmonds-Green as well and say, there's a really talented footballer there who is showing me everything he needs to show me to say that when we need him, he is going to step in and he's going to do a brilliant job.
What did you make of his performance, Worthy?
I thought it was excellent. I think to come on as sub in any game is not easy. To come on a game against when the team's losing and against Assombalongo, who is, you know, a potent striker, strong, quick, got lots of attributes. I thought it was absolute. I actually thought it was outstanding, to be honest, for the circumstances. I thought he was good in the duels, good in his aerials. I thought he showed something that he's a real strength, real composure on the ball, pick the right passes, line breaking passes, good decisions. So overall, I thought it was very impressive. He's obviously been come through the academy. He's been on a real good journey. He's had different types of loans. He's been out on loan at Brighouse for his first exposure, and progressed that through, and obviously had a really successful loan at Swindon last year. And I think, he's one that, you know, he's, in my opinion, he's knocking on the door as again, he's got massive potential.
Yeah, he certainly did put in a good performance and did well for himself today. In terms of his composure on the ball, Worthy, it was great, wasn't it? He was stepping out from the back. He looked so confident. I think that the loan spell last year and winning promotion did the world for him. Yeah,
definitely, and I think the loans for him have worked out perfectly and really got exactly what he's needed. And giving him that experience and that platform. But like I say, I think the way the game is now, defenders, yes, they have to be able to defend first and foremost, 100%, but they've got to be able to play. The game's different now, and especially the style that we're wanting to play, playing through the thirds, being comfortable on the ball. He kind of ticks those boxes for me.
Yeah, and Andy, obviously it was his first appearance of 2020 for Huddersfield Town, his first under Carlos Corberán too. I mean, he had a little bit of an injury setback, didn't he, at the start of this year? He's been getting minutes for the B team, performed well, and then he's just progressing and getting better and better now. He's back to full fitness.
Yeah, I suppose he's showing the kind of progression that we hope all players can get with Huddersfield Town. As Worthy says, we've sent him out on a couple of different loans. Then we're utilising him with the B team, and we're giving him those opportunities. And this is something as a fan I like to see, is that we clearly are a club that when you show Huddersfield Town that you've got what is needed, we're going to give you those opportunities. And then hopefully, just like Romani's done today, you come into the first team, and when needed, you don't look in any way out of place. You look absolutely as though you belong on that pitch with everybody else. So for me, yeah, what he did today was really brilliant. I made up for him as well as everybody in the squad with what's going to happen today. But him on his performance with everything that we've said, yeah, I think he can be absolutely delighted tonight.
And there were 6 academy graduates or academy players, however you want to put it, on the pitch at the final whistle, Andy.
Yeah, do you know, I'd not thought of that, or I'd not quite realised it was that many. That again just shows what we are building behind the scenes, and that we've got these players who are ready when we need them to step up. And you look at your Lewis O'Brien and the fact that he's been to Bradford and has now come into our team. And well, I mean, if I'm even saying he's only been in the first team, a season and a half or whatever it is, it's a case of you almost can't believe. Now I think of it, Lewis O'Brien has only been in the first team a year and a half. It's incredible the path that we can put players on, and long may it continue for me.
Could see you smiling there, Worthy.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, he's been a revelation, really, hasn't he? Lewis, I just enjoy watching him every time he plays. It's great. It's great. As a Town fan, as an ex-player, he that's what you want to see. That's what you want to see.
And then, like I said to Andy, there six academy players, graduates on the pitch. The final whistle. There were more, obviously, on the bench as well. Matty Daly, Kieran Phillips. But for you watching this, it must be really pleasing. It shows all the hard work that you guys are putting in terms of making the pathway even easier for the young players is ultimately paying off.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, obviously, this is it's just the start for a lot of these players, and it's football's about opportunity, and they've got to earn that opportunity, and which I feel that they're working extremely hard to do that, and then when that opportunity comes along, they've got to take it. They've got to take it. So fortunate with the club, fortunate with Carlos, there's some trust there because he's seen them. He's seen the players on a daily basis. The B team obviously work in alignment with the first team, as well as the other academy age groups. We're all working and working with the same understandings, the same philosophy, same ideas, and that helps with the transition for players. It makes it smoother because everyone knows what's expected. But yeah, I think it's the start. I think we're at the start of this journey, and hopefully it can continue. And more players, when they do get that trust and that opportunity, they take it.
The lads in the 19s will be looking up, won't they, at the likes of Aaron Rowe, for example, and saying, well, Aaron's progressed. He's shown his ability. He's gone up to the B team. He's performed well there. Rams, DD, etc. I can do that, and that's the big confidence builder, isn't it, for them, and then can really help them buy into the system and what you're trying to do, because that's where they want to get to. It must really help you.
Yeah, 100%, and I think that's what it is, isn't it? When doors open and opportunity comes, and that's what it is. I think more so probably than majority of championship clubs. That's the way forward that the club is going, and we genuinely believe that we've got young, good, better than good. We've got some real top young players, waiting in the wings to hopefully progress and start their careers at Huddersfield Town.
Yeah, and Andy, just touching back on the performance, a lot's been said in the last few weeks about turning possession into chances and into goals. We saw some really exciting football. The games haven't, on the whole, really been dull under Carlos, have they?
Not at all, no. It's completely different to what we've had, not just maybe last season, but seasons prior as well. We have been a team usually who maybe could sneak a goal here, a goal there, where you actually look at what we've done through the course of this season, and largely goal scoring hasn't been any kind of problem for us. And you look, I mean, we were talking about this before, and the pace in that front line, and you can see defenders looking at Josh Koroma and Isaac Mbenza, and you can see that they're trying to stifle them before they really get anywhere with the ball, because they all know that these are players who can really take them on. And that's maybe not something that we've seen too much in recent series. Players up front who do make the defenses panic and do make defenses really think how they're going to have to deal with them. So we have that now. We have clear goal scoring ability. That is something that this squad seems to have. And as we said before, I think it overall helps then everybody else on the pitch, the fact that now, if needs be, we can go, as we saw today, we can go from 2-2 to 3-2. We can get the job done.
And just finally, with you, Worthy, obviously we're up to 13th now in the Sky Bet Championship table, but the result overall will do wonders, won't it, for the players' confidence going into a Tuesday night game away at Cardiff?
Yeah, definitely. And I think regardless of the way we play and all the real positives, I think for players, when you get that 3 points, it breeds confidence. It breeds confidence in terms of reinforces that the things that they're doing, the relentless work they're doing on the training ground, is coming to fruition when they deliver like that on the pitch. And I think that's the key thing. Confidence will be high now for the lads going into a tough game on Tuesday. But they're all tough. They're all tough.
Yeah, absolutely. Confidence is high here at the John Smith Stadium. Andy, John, thank you very much for joining us, and hopefully we'll be able to take some momentum into the game on Tuesday at Cardiff City. Thank you for watching.